Hi, I want to welcome you once again to Anti-Tech Cyber channel, and thank you very much for joining me once again. You know, this channel has been created purposely to create cybersecurity awareness. You know, if you're new to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button, like, and then share the video. Now, for today, I'm going to talk about an ongoing attack. You know, one thing is, these cyber criminals, they don't sleep, right? Day in, day out, they try to come up with different kinds of attacks. And so people like us, once we get to know the attack, of course we do a lot of research about it, and then we try to share it so that we can all be, safe and secure over the internet. Now, the attack is called a BIN attack. That's BIN attack. Now, if you're in banking, you know what BIN basically is. Now, what is a BIN attack? Now, this is a type of attack that involves a cyber criminal trying to guess the combination of a debit card or a credit card. Now, when I say trying to get the combination, mostly they try to guess the security code, the 3-number security code, and also the date of the expiry date on the debit card. Now, they use a method called brute forcing. Now, what is a brute force method or attack? When we say brute force, it's basically the person tries to use a try and error, right? So it means the person is not really sure of what he or she is doing or what he or she is trying to get. So it's the act of using like a try and error method to be able to, get what you want. Now, when we say try and error, this really takes much time. Now, the BIN, that's the BIN attack fraud. The main purpose or the focus or the target of the cause of this attack is basically the debit or a credit card of a bank. Now, every bank has a debit and then like a debit card, let me put it that way. And we have institutions that give out, even some bank institutions gives out credit card to its consumers. Now, on the debit card, there are sometimes the first 4 to 6 numbers represents the bank. It identifies what type of bank or institution issued the debit or credit card. That's what we term as the BIN. That bank identification number. Now, that is actually it's a common knowledge. So when you go online, you search for example, the BIN number of Bank of America or any other bank, you should be able to see it. Now, this is what the cyber criminals do. So they target a particular bank. For instance, let's say they're targeting US Bank, right? Now, what they do is they go online to search for the BIN number for that particular bank, right? Now, when they go online and then they're able to identify the BIN number of that particular bank, what then they do is they try to guess the remaining number the remaining numbers on that particular debit or credit card, right? So they will try to guess those numbers. In addition, they also try to guess the 3 security code and then the expiry date, because these are the important information you need on a debit or a credit card to be able to make purchases online, right? So they try that. Now, the first thing is that they target the bank, and then the second one, they try to use computational means to generate the other codes, right, or the other numbers on the debit or the credit card. Now, once they're able to identify some information, once they're able to, the software or the method they're using, once it's able to generate some numbers for them, now that's when the try and error comes up. Now, they try to make purchases, using the information they have. So, let me summarize this. They know the bank's BIN number. Let's say sometimes it's the first 6 numbers on the, I think 13 or 14 digits on the debit card, right? Now, they have the first 6 or 8. Now, they have to guess the remaining. And then, aside that, they also have to guess the security code, and then they guess the expiry date on that particular debit card. Now, once they're able to, through computation means, try and error, find some digits, they try to purchase something using the debit card information they have, right? Now, this is what they do. They first make small purchases using the information they have. Now, once they make that purchase and they realize it becomes successful, then that means they've been able to identify what a legit debit card is, right? And unfortunately, that could be for a customer. Now, after they are able to get that information, they just keep those debit cards there. So they will continue to try to get a lot of them. Now, they will make initial purchases, right? Small purchases. Now, they will try till they're successful. Then, from there, when they realize that the consumers of that debit card or the owners have not been able to identify those small purchases, that's when they start the real attack. They make huge purchases with the debit card. Now, someone will ask you, how would I be able to detect whether my debit card or my credit card has been compromised? Now, the first thing is, how often do you check your bank transactions? Now, when you check your bank transactions and you realize some minor purchases or any other purchases you have no idea about, don't sit there. You might be a victim of that being attacked. Like I said, they'll start small purchases, and if you are not able to identify that, then they move to the higher ones, right? So check your bank transactions. When you realize any unauthorized purchases, take action. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is, when you check your transaction, you realize there have been series of the same unauthorized transaction repeatedly. That is a sign that you are a victim of a BIN, and that's a BIN attack. You have to take action. Now, there are some people, they have like when these hackers, right? Some people, they've set up an alert on their phones. So when someone tries to make a purchase and then it doesn't go through, they get a notification saying your debit card, was being used. But because, for example, let's say the expiry date or the security code was wrong, you get an alert that says someone tried to use a debit card. Now, when you get authorization messages, sometimes too, when let's say someone tries to make a purchase, right, and then you get an alert that says authorize a particular transaction, and you've not done anything like that, then that is a sign that someone is trying to guess the combinations on your debit or credit card. So you have to take action as soon as possible. So these are three main ways you'll be able to detect whether you're being a victim of a BIN attack. Now, you ask yourself, how can we prevent this particular type of attack? That's the whole purpose of the videos I make, so that we'll be able to learn and know how best we can prevent ourselves from those attacks. Now, the first thing is to set up transaction alerts on your debit cards. It's important, like I always say. When you get, every bank should have a bank app, right? And when you sign up for the online banking, there's an option where you'll be able to set notifications. Please do that. Make sure you set notifications for when you make purchases. When money comes out from your account, when money is deposited in your account, whatever transaction, make an alert. So in that case, when a bad person tries to make a purchase with a compromised debit card, you surely receive an alert. Let's say the person is successful and is able to make a small purchase, like I always said, like I said earlier, then you can block the card then, so the person wouldn't be able to make further purchases. So it's important, set an alert on all your banking transactions. The second thing is, you have to constantly review your bank transactions. Sometimes people do not check their bank transactions because they feel there's nothing at stake. But trust me, the world is really dangerous right now. So you want to, day in, day out, review your bank statement just to be sure. that there aren't any transactions that are unauthorized. So that's the second thing. Constant regular review of your bank statement. 2, and the 3, enable two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication. Now what is that? That's like a second layer of security. Now sometimes some banks, even majority of the banks, gives you that option, such that when you try to make a purchase, you receive a notification, you have to approve or reject that particular transaction. One advice: go to your bank, ask them to set up a 2FA, that's a two-factor authentication or a multi-factor authentication on your debit or credit card. In that way, whenever you try to make a purchase, you would have the right to approve or not. So if you have something like that and a bad actor tries to make a purchase using your debit card, then you would have to approve or not. So when you see a pending approval request that has nothing to do with you, then you should know you're being a victim or you're being a target, right? Then you have to act. Now, the fourth one is secured password on your online banking. Now, someone would say the attack is basically on debit card, so why would I set up a password? For example, sometimes these bin attacks, they try to hack or they try to get access to the bank that particular card is connected to, or the account that particular card is connected to. So when they realize the customer has an online banking, then they also try to use brute forcing methods or mechanics to be able to guess the password of that particular customer. So imagine your password is not really strong, or it's not complex. Then they can find ways to be able to identify your password. To cybersecurity, right? And there are so many ways people can just crack your password. So please make sure when you're setting up a password, at least it should be 9 characters. I would say 9 characters or more. It should have a number. It should have a combination of small letters, that's lowercase. It should have uppercase, and then it should have symbols, right? It's important. Make your passwords complex and protect yourself. Now, once you're able to, let's say you identify that you're a victim of this particular BIN attack, what's the next step you have to take? Now, every bank has a fraud or a compliance department. Now, once you review your transaction and you realize that you are a victim based on how I've explained the ways to detect, you realize you're a victim of this BIN attack, then go to your bank, ask for the fraud department, report it to them, and then as soon as possible they can block your card and get you a new one. Because if you don't take action, of course at the beginning it's going to be a small amount of transaction, but subsequently, trust me, it will be something unbearable. So that's the advice. Make sure you, as soon as possible, you go to the bank, report it to them, and then they will have to do something about it for you. Please, the current age and the current world we live in is dangerous. So don't take anything for granted. Make sure you always have that security mindset. If you have a debit or a credit card, be careful, right? How you use it, how you expose it. Don't be careless. Because unfortunately, if someone gets access to your information, then you'll be duped, right? The person can find ways to get money out of your account. So thank you very much. This has been a video about the BIN attack. Please watch it and then be educated. Also share the video to others. Now, thank you for supporting. Kindly hit the subscribe button and also like the videos. I always say so YouTube can recommend the video to other people. And also, please, if you have anything, just make a comment. Now, thank you very much for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.